should not allow us to be used as a remote control for one group of people. We understand we have issues, and nobody should pretend that we don't have issues among the executives, among the key hierarchy of the party. But what is the position of the young people today? How will we be like the senator was saying? One group got money, one group got money, they can talk. But the other group got money, they can eat for everything. The other group will let it fire. So where are we the young people?
What's up?
Over and over. Issues among people is not strange. But the very foundation of this party and any other political party, people will always have issues. So we cannot be about our issues, even in our very homes. Our siblings in the same house, or the same father, the same mother. We have issues among us of them. So we cannot shy away from issues. But my caution to us on this occasion is we as young people, let us position ourselves in the center to resolve those issues. We should not have our side. From the very beginning, when the senator started expressing his dissatisfaction, even as way back as last year, there is this thing. One thing I told him is, Senator, the very first time when you were contesting for me, unfortunately, you lost about it. I was opposing during the first election. My point was we can't have two President Johnson in our country. We got the first President Johnson, we cannot have the second one. So I never supported him on that vote. During the second election, we put everything behind him to ensure that we have a voice that is also different. All of us, we should not have the same voice. This is the political arena we are in. So it was on this basis that we supported him with everything to ensure that we get a voice that replaces President Johnson in the country. And from the very beginning of the whole situation, I've always told him, Senator, the reason we voted you is we want you to be the elder, the most senior elder, not only in the NDR, but and honorable Senator, I still believe my position that you are one of the most senior elders in this country and in the party. We will be looking after you in decision making. If you angry, you go and talk to all of us. When we get angry to borrow to and tell people, don't have to talk to us. When we get angry to and tell people who will talk to us. So let us have our time to resolve our issues among ourselves. And we, especially as young people, many times we can be the one to escalate those things. On the same level today, you got a group of people who are going on them. And then you got a group of people who are going in the favor. Why can't we call our leaders and say, oh, you people are the one we're looking up to. Where is the issue? How can we resolve this thing? Instead of taking a particular side. I've never accepted to have a side in any of this, with any of these people. Every day, when I get issue, I go to him. Every day, when I get issue, I go to the past president. During the birthday, I was there. Any occasion you have, whether in a test show, in a council, once I get an opportunity to attend, I will fully be part of it. And I still support him because he's the senator of our country and one of the most senior members of the party. Yes. And I still equally support the VP. Also as the most senior person myself. Until we reach that point, he was the one that was elected as the political leader of the party. So until we reach that point, to say, now that the people let's have a political leader, or he still became the position as a political leader, we have to also give him all of that due courtesy. This is our law. And one of the aspects of this party is we all need to recognize that this party is. The reality of NPR is that everything that was started in our constitution before the passing of Senator Johnson was done solely to favor to get him satisfied. Since Senator Johnson is no longer with us, do we still need a political, how we call it? Governing, do we still need a governing council in the NPR? If we don't need it, let's call for another emergency meeting. We are the ones who carry the constitution. It's not right. Anything we put there, we can call for it. Let's let everyone for that if it's not needed. But until that time, we the young people, let's be a peacemaker. Let me not have a side in the whole controversy. Two people, the Republican had issue. The rest of the party are issue. That is the reality. But as young people, we should not make ourselves part and party to this issue. Let me take a neutral position and continue to speak to the truth, and we can lead those necessary transformations that we need to see in the party. We will not be the first group of people. The United Party you see today, the CDC we see today, and even those old parties we see today. Let's go and check the involvement of the young people that brought about the level the party has reached today. And let's try to imitate those same kind of steps. Let us avoid those ones that have negative impact on the party. Then there where the issue will always be. So all of us here, young people, is to maintain a neutral position in all this party to the level that it will be counted tomorrow when you say the political party of Liberia. NPR will be second to none. Let me try to transition NPR from liberal-based party to a national-based party. And we as young people, we can lead that transformation. It's not impossible. The life of poetry that we sing today, the whole CDC looks up to them, is the way they have positioned themselves. We can try to see. There are people, there are some bad things about them, but there are equally some good things that we can learn from some of those people who have led youth movement across the country and across the region. So I want to say thank you to all of you. I want to tell the Senator thank you, because when the young people gather like this, it's good we as leaders we show face and encourage them, and that will give them more courage. And tomorrow when you say we want the young people to gather, so they will always be there, because when they need you, you are also there. So I know we have our business schedule, but we cannot let this movement pass without coming to at least be part of this occasion. So I want to stop here and say thank you to all of you, and to conclude what I'm saying to all of us here, and the only single thing, if you ask me, the only single thing I have to tell all of us here is let me take a position, a non-party position, to resolve the current rigmarole we are having in this party. We should not be used. During campaign time, people will come. I will do this for you. I will do this for you. Let's try and go towards preparedness. We always say, I will say, I will say, I will say. The very people we want to take start with them, they have made their life already. It's now us. How are we preparing ourselves? What are the proposals are we making to our leaders? That tomorrow when they are no longer in a position, that we will also be prepared to take on that responsibility. That should be our focus as young people. So I want to say thank you. We will be here, and whenever we are needed to perform any special responsibility or duty, we are still around. Thank you very much.
We are still around. That's the voice of Honorable Ernest Massey, District Number 4, Nimba County. MDR Youth had a program today in Ganta, and it turned out to be really great. Our team was there to follow, to carry everything live. Most of the executive members were there in attendance for that program. It was a really good one. We followed it, and it was a good turnout. Honorable Koga was also there. Like I said, all the top executives, some of them were there. It was the first time, since the demise of Senator Prince Johnson, for MDR to come on and have any sort of gathering. I know this time it was the young people. From every indication, this is their first time having program or any type of come together event that will bring people together outside of the barrier when it happened. But overall, it was a great thing. It was a great show. As you guys know, my name is Alvin. I'm here. We are here tonight, BKS TV, currently being relayed on Voice of BKS in Butu Town, and also Voice of Tapeta in Tapeta there. So we got a lot of folks following us and listening. My colleagues, the rest of the panelists, they will be joining me here shortly. But we will be hosting one of Nimba County songs. I like today's show because every day we come on here, we have politics, we have different people. But this guy, I'm really interested in bringing him on. He's a son of Nimba County, someone with vast experience in corporate America, across government. And I enjoy when I bring financial, when I bring business people, when I bring people with different background, just outside of just pure politics on here. It tends to be good for me. I enjoy having this type of interview. So my colleagues will join me here shortly. Without further ado, I'm going to bring my brother on. The man is not a stranger. I don't need to introduce the man. I don't need to say anything. So he said, will do everything for himself here tonight. So I got my brother here tonight. Emmerich, man, what's up, my brother?
Let's test I'm doing mic. Very, I'm great.
Good.
Ecstatic, being on this program to speak to the consciousness of our people to bring unity. All right. I'm from the background. I want unity in Nimba because what we stood for all along, during the days of DK1 Celia, Jackson Hebdo, the guys were united in their cause, in their struggle. And when I come on, it's not to preach about political parties and so to see how you united Nimba can be, right? So this is great to have me on. This is great because I come from a background of not being a politician, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I stand. Not being a politician, I am not a politician trying to vie for any political position. But all I want to do is to see that we are united from what I saw growing up in Nimba. If we weren't united, we were not going to be successful as a group of people. So thank you for having me, Alvin.
Well, it's my pleasure, my brother. It's my pleasure. And I think this is going to be a really great show. We do get a lot of young people that follow us across Nimba. And we have been trying to mix it up a little bit here. When we started first, a lot of politics. But lately, we have been trying to mix it up. We bring business people in here. We bring entrepreneurs. We bring people from medical background, education background, different types. So your conversation tonight, people listening, Campley, your home. People listening everywhere, in Butu and all over the place. We got a lot of followers from Ganta area there, District 1. Even in Monrovia, you'll be surprised. Even in the US, as well. But as we always do, tonight is more of a conversation. We're talking to our people. We'll be more education. We'll be learning. I know people know you. You're beginning already started hitting, oh, that's my big brother, that's my big brother in the comment section. But do the woman a favor, the paper then in True and other places, outside of District 3, tell the people who you are. And this is with a lot of respect here. A lot of people know you, to be someone, one of the outspoken voices on social media platform, in other NEMA grouping and other areas, right? But some people really don't know, may not know where you're from, your background. So as we always do with all our guests, it's not just you, but kindly talk to the people, let the people know who you are, in few sentences, 1 or 2 minutes, introduce yourself, and let the people know who you are.
Yeah. Thank you, Arvin. I came from a background, very simple background. People don't understand it. The people in conflict barely get to know Emmerich from this background of being a tire man, where when during the Civil War, right? And when I speak the truth to my life, what I experienced, what I know, what I have been through. I was never ever this person that came from this family that we call privileged family.
Right.
So I understand what it means coming from a very poor family, because people used to say, "Oh, you're tired, man." And imagine incomplete, you being at the bottom of the society that people will call you tired man because you wake up 2, 3, 4 o'clock to go and fix car tire and sell gasoline, right? So people did not understand that some of us, we had different talents until they start to see when Conflict came alive with us, wearing the jersey of Conflict against a lot of different towns, Lapierre, Pila, Duople, and all those different places at the time. We entertained the people. We came from this background where we have multiple talents. So when we used to buy coffee, we coffee, cocoa through my uncle, and I would say shout out to my family, my maternal family, the mongrels, the Khan, the Toa, the Duodenens. These people were people that set the foundation for us, and I give it to them, right? Because they expose us to knowing what it means to come from a background of nothing. My people came from a background of nothing, and I will have to admit it. I'm not one of those that will be shy to talk about it. This is the reason why I still, the flag of Nima, the flag of Belige, I still run it. I still do it because it is embedded in me. It's my heritage. You can never ever choose where you're born. You can never ever choose what tribe you're from. You can never ever choose what religion. You can never choose those things. Those are things that come with the whole package. So when I stand firm and keep being emphatic about where I'm from, that from Belige, it's not a joke. It's not because I'm trying hard to be identified with those people. It's because of who I am. That's me. That's my DNA, right? I cannot take it away from me. I would never, ever, in any way, people that know me to say I would not be out there in the public to talk about Belige, because, Belige is a part of me. Nima is a part of me. I grew up in Yekepa. I was born in Habel, Adusa Hospital, but my early upbringing came from Nima, where I was in Yekepa with my aunt, my mother's older sister. And that's how I even came in touch with the late DK once a year. His son in Australia, the junior in Australia, and myself, once in a while, we still, because his father was my idol, right? So I grew up in that environment where I was so inquisitive when it came to reading the newspaper and knowing what was happening in our country. With the whole issue of Neymar Ray, I was at that age where I understood exactly what was going on. Neymar Ray to November 12th, all of those different incidents in our history. I knew I was well informed. So I know what Neymar been through. And at the same time too, my brothers from the other side, from Grand Gide, I was very close when I left from Yekepa Those are some of the people that I got very close to. I'll be able to call their name because I want the facts, right?
Right.
We lived together. I went to BWA after I left from Yekepa in 1987. So through all my teenage years, I came from Yekepa, but I was always in Campley. Never divorced myself for Campley. And sometimes too, DNA, I don't want to lie to you, you can never deny DNA. When you're from somewhere,
right.
Go ahead. If you want.
No, I say it's very hard, man.
It's hard. It's hard.
And we'll be biased here tonight. I will be biased. When it comes to Nima DNA, I don't know about other people, but it's very difficult.
It's difficult, right? But my father's side, they're from Mount Gili, right? Mm-hmm. And my mother's side, but I spend more time with my Nima side. So my father's side thinking that, the Nima side is taking too much of you because I pay attention to my Nima side, right? So that's the jealousy, but I like it, right?
It's funny. It's funny you said that, right? We had Mariah Councilor Yakula on the show the last time. Her name is Cole from Nima there, and then we were having a discussion, and she was stressing a lot on Cole, everything, Nima. Then we have a few of your ANC folks in the comment section there. So, but what you do with Maryland? You forgetting about Maryland? Maryland is something similar to that effect. But Nima, that's what makes it unique. Nothing personal about. Always, and then you spend time there. You play football there. You spend a lot of time there, and
the breadth and depth of Nima, I live it, right? From Bona, Yaman, all those places to Campley, Butu, all those places were places that, not talking about based on the experience of other people, but based on my experience, because my uncle Moses Duo, I gave it to him. Shout out to my uncle Moses Duo. He's from the Mongrel family. We're from the Mongrel Khan and Tua family. Mm-hmm. He taught us to work hard.
Right.
I learned it, how to wake up 3-4 o'clock. And if people like Brooks Gongano from Lapierre, they all listening, know me. I stay connected with my people. And that's a beauty, right? When you have come this far, where you being blessed. And I keep saying, being in America is a blessing to be able to extend that to other people that you've come along with, right? So I always say this, it's not there for you to talk down on people. It's not there for you to bring people down. It's not there for you to think that you're superior, because God placed you there for you to impact other people, to see how you can bring our society, other great people, to that level where they can be able to think and fetch and know how to be able to help make the society a better society. And this is where I come from. I come from that background where even my big brother Brooks will pick up the phone, Eric, today and I said, no, don't be calling me or complaining, because this is why we are here, right? Yeah. And that's the truth. On all of them, they will bear you witness and say, Emmerich is a different kind, because I came for nothing. My mom used to sell dogaflet, and you won't believe it. I be the way I would take the wheelbarrow and sell dogaflet in BDI uniform because people did not understand that's how you make money. When people see in a school like that, BDI was a prestigious school, right? Yeah. But if I'm wearing a BDI uniform, because I used to use that to sell my mom's dongafle, and it's no joke. It's not like I'm trying to please people, but that's just who I am. My mom went through a lot of struggles. My family went through a lot of struggles selling. They were all business people selling in the market and other places. You know what? You'll always see Emmerich either taking the things from the market in the wheelbarrow, coming home, then to take them there in the morning. That's my life. I repaired tire. It's not I'm trying to please anybody, but that's what I did. So
thank you.
When we come from this background, we need to tell people our stories, because our story is going to help to motivate people that are feeling down, that see no outlet as to how to be able to self-empowerment, right? Nobody gave us anything on a silver platter. So when we come, we tell people our story. You know what? There will be so many witnesses to attest, so many testimonies to attest and say, it's true. Emmerich is saying, Emmerich that came to Campley, when this guy settled in Campley, They had nothing. They opened the first tire shop, gas stations, and so they will say it because it's the history,
Thank you.
factual history. So
Thank you.
you know,
And that's what makes these type of interviews very interesting, because when you talk about your life story, people, I was telling the other guy the last time that came on our show, people see the finishing touches. They see Emmerich, this guy with over 20 plus years experience in financial management. He's successful in America, business and all that stuff, but they don't see, they don't know where Emmerich came from. And our background actually built us for where we are today and what we are going through. But welcome to the show, my host. I know you came late, so latecomers, you gotta the milk pit fan. You have to sit there and watch us. We'll give him a little time yet to be able to come in. But we have Emmerich on the phone, on our phone, on the platform of us today. You want to greet him, and then so we can start. We're going straight into Nima County, Nimba. From there, before we start hitting the man on ANC and all the other C's. But one know what the man take is on. I know Gino going to ask this question, but let me let him greet you from there. Then we can start from Nimba.
Thank you, CEO. And again, it's great to be on here this evening. Emmerich, it's great to have you on the show here too as well. Welcome to BKS. This is your platform. I hear you speak more of can play here this evening, and this is
Very
my
good, man.
platform. So I know that there is this thing about Belige and Buyao. These two set of people, they speak more of their places they are from. I don't know why, but when you speak of a typical Nima man, you ask a Belige man, they will not say I'm from Nima specifically. They will tell you, say I'm from Belige, and they will call the town name from Belige. So it's great to have you on here this evening, Emmerich. I know we're going to have a fruitful conversation. I'm going to ask you all the difficult questions here, ranging from Nima County, the Belige you from. We are told that the disunity in that place now is getting very high because of politics, the CDC, and the Unity Party to the ANC, and all of that. We're going to ask you all the typical questions here this evening. But it's great to have you. I will turn it over to the CEO to get started with the conversation, and I will chip in from the back. CEO, take over, Chief.
Thank you. You will come in there. You ask your two questions. Let's grill him on. Let's drill him on the Nima thing. But Emmerich, you've written articles in Nima agenda all over the place and all that stuff. Let's start with this basic stuff. What's up with Nima? What's your take on Nima? When it comes to Nima, the body of Nima, or this whole Nima unity, one Nima agenda, our current leadership, the folks who are in leadership now, their role. What's your take on Nima as it stands now, the state of affair of Nima County?
This is the first thing that we have to acknowledge. You have to revisit the past to be able to correct some of the things that happened in the past to move forward, right? If you look at Nima, when the likes of DK, the late DK Wonselie, or Jackson Abdul, all of them, when they were together, those guys were not insecure about each other, right? They formed that unity based on intelligence, and the whole country got feared or got afraid because those guys were highly intelligent. And I spent my time with them. I'm of this age now that I will tell you this. I spent most of my time around them, knowing who they were, their mindset, and so peaceful people, great people, never into violence. And this is the reason why when people think that the group for Nima, or when people would tint us as violent people, that's not true, because those guys were highly intelligent. They had the Kedo Development Association in Bona, in Lugwai, those different places. They used to have this tournament. And one thing, I was born gifted, so I used to print on the jersey for the different teams that would participate in that organization. I mean, in the tournament. And what I saw at the time, people fear Nima because of intelligence. And I'll be honest, it's the reverse right now. People don't fear Nima. We see small counties that got nothing, no resources, but we see those counties nationally, they are tapping, when it comes to the political positions in our country. Those guys are tapping. They're on top of it. But then we have to ask ourselves, the question: why has Neymar retrogressed in that way? That from a county that people fear because of intelligence to a county now that are begging to say, oh, Neymar is the king's maker. We want to go through, having a presidential candidate because we're going to support, like a catalyst to support another candidate to feel pity on us. I see Neymar as a place right now where people say, oh, we'll pity them because they support us, so let's pity them. No. And this is where I disagree. I disagree on that because I think we are intelligent people. Some of the most intelligent people you find in our country is from Neymar. And let's be honest with this. If it had not been for Neymar, the current president, would have retired from politics. And my question is, what did Neymar get from that? When you make when you think you have a VP from Neymar, but then it does not trickle down to creating employment for the entire country. And that of Neymar, I'm in disagreement with that. And this is where I have a fundamental disagreement to say that because you think Prince Johnson ran Neymar, yeah, we'll have to honor him because at the time Neymar was faced with a condition, right?
Right.
That condition been far removed where Neymar was a target, right, to the government in existence at the time. So now we see that Neymar is a place of brilliant people. I've interacted with you, with other people, brilliant guys, brilliant people. But then the point there, why we can be recognized for our brilliance? Why should we be seen as people that, oh, we feel sorry for them because they supported us, so we got to support them to the presidency? That's not a smart thing to think about people from Neymar, and I'm included. When you say that to someone like me, it's insultive to say that about me because I know myself. People from Neymar, Nembanians know themselves. Brilliant people. We have not played our cards right because we have never ever been strategic. If you look at LOFA, whether it's JMB, it's CDC, whatsoever, they've been playing strategic role in every government that have come to prominence, right? Because
and Emmerich, I'll hold you there. And that's the debate some people are having in Nimba County, right? And when people come and talk about Nimba unity, and then you have some folks that will get upset at certain people for aligning with other political parties and saying, no, you can't do this. You got to come on this side because this is Nimba party. This is Nimba time. But you just made a really great point. Lofa County, if you look in Lofa County, you'll see some of the top officials from CDC are from Lofa, right? That's the same thing with Unity Party. They're not dividing themselves. They're not fighting among themselves. They may have disagreement here and there, but they are not saying, oh, all of us to come together because GNP is Unity Party. They have their differences, but they are doing their thing in their respective political party. You can't say that, Emmerich, about your county. You cannot say that about Nima. If you go now and you try to even bring that idea up, people will look at you as if you are against the vice president of the country. And that's what really needs to be addressed, or to push out there. So I'm glad you made that point. I know you were in route there, in flight, trying to land your speech. But I want you to also speak to that, add that to your statement, where you were going with that.
But there where I was going, right? If you're gonna be insecure with your own people that have the competence, but far competent people, the intelligence, if you're gonna be uncomfortable with them, then I will tell you you're going nowhere. You know why? Because we see how President Boyka play out. Even though he had the support of Neymar County. But then when you won the elections, let's be realistic. And that's why I write some of these different articles for people to read, to conscientize them. Let's be realistic. You won the election on the back, whether people like it or not, that's the fact. On the back of Neymar. Because nobody who have President Boyka would not have won without Neymar. Let's be real. That's the fact. We can look at the numbers, we can put the numbers together. But then if you see that almost all of the key positions of your government from Lofa, to me, you're doing Nima a disservice. We have to be real about it. People don't like me. And I will tell you the reason why people don't like me. I'm very objective and straightforward and just like bold to speak the truth. Because you make us to look that we're begging President Bouaka. You have, let's look at the Internal Affairs Ministry. Let's look at these are all facts. And I will be able to quote them for people to understand, people that are listening to understand, right?
Shoot, bro.
Look at the central bank. Look at the Liberia Revenue Authority. Look at those are key. Look at the finance ministry. You think it is done because it is done by design. And I want Vice President Kun to listen out and be able to reach out to all of us that are the brains of NIMBA, okay? To reach out. Because if you see that NIMBA had always been a place to use to make kings. But then how is that we can make kings and then we can be the king?
Yeah.
Then let's be real. And I was saying, people may be hurt when I said, Taylor King, we use everything and our families died. You have family members that died. And I'm sure Junior got family members that died in the war.
Plenty.
We all got people that died in the war. But when Taylor became president, it didn't trickle down to Nima, where Nima faced the heavy burden of the crisis, right? So you find Nima was accused of, they are all rebels, right?
Yeah.
But yet and still, we know that, we were rebels because we had to be rebels to save the lives of the unborn babies, the babies that were born, and people that were caught up in between, right? It's not to justify war, but that's a fact. Right. And then when you look at, we transition to even Ellen. Without Nima, Ellen would not have won the election. And what became of Nima again? Nima was played. So if you look at the transition from Taylor to Ellen to even former President Weir, Nima was always played. So at what point in time we'll have this reality to sit and say, you know what? Let us come to our consciousness and see how we can strategize to bring people that are thinkers, right? Objective, to see what we can learn from it. But we cannot. This is 2029. I'm speaking now forward after we have experienced all of the transitions that Nima did not even benefit because he think you're going to miss somebody from Nima, deputy minister or minister of, how do you call it, mining, or the place where women pay was lands and mines.
Yeah.
And then you take him from there and you think that you're going to make a better Nima with just the Vice President Jeremiah Kun. He may not know, but that's not a great direction because we see how it is, especially when you find a group of people that don't understand the minds of people from Nima. We challenge some of them, they will run away, right? But they think they can defend the Vice President Jeremiah Kun on some of those issues, and they are the ones pushing his propaganda. They are the ones saying, this and that, but we know those boys. How when it comes to Morovia, we know how undermined they can be. We know it. We know that it will set you up, and then in no time it will bring you this way. In no time they will remove themselves from you when they see that nationally there's no national appeal. The only reason why they do that because they think they can have their bread and butter through you at the moment, at this time. So we have to be able to call on all of the authorities in Nima, whether it's Yan Toyen, I've been speaking with those guys, but sometimes they think that because you're from this background of coming from Cummings, they don't want to hear from you. But we, not politicians, we are independent people, objective people that we can have our support somewhere but we will still be independent in our thought process. We want a united Nima. A united Nima, I will be frank with you, a united Nima with all someone like Edith Gonglo, Tiawan Gonglo,
Garrison.
my boy Yellow, Garrison
Yeah,
Yellow,
Garrison.
you can never
Yeah.
ever succeed because we're gonna be divided. If Garrison wants to put his foot down to say he will step on something, Garrison will have his support from Bellegain. So whether you like it or not, and then Madam Edith Gonglo will have a support whether you like it or not. So the point that we want genuine reconciliation in Nima, genuine reconciliation where we'll push the agenda of Nima on a national level, that Nima will be recognized as a county, right? That got force, that got resources, that got intelligence. We don't want this whole thing that you was silent with someone like you when you speak. When even if Gina gonna speak and say, "Oh no, we don't care about him," we don't want to name out like that, because we need to understand the democratic process is to listen to even the minority in the country, people that did not even vote for you. You have to listen to them. That's a democratic process.
Thank you. And that's after election. Elections are over. It's time for governing, and then you're an elected position. You are representing the Liberian people, the Nimba people, and everybody, and you work for us. So there's nothing wrong with regular citizen, ordinary citizen holding their government to account. But Junior, you got a question there? Then before I go further.
I think I will sit back for now because I'm liking the way the conversation is going. When I come in, I know you guys doing your thing the brotherly way here, but I got some tough questions I need to ask. But let me sit back and watch you lay the basis for us, Chief.
No, but the man get tough question too. So you don't want just leave it. The man can take tough questions. So go ahead and ask a
Okay,
question.
great. So let me ask a follow up to where you make that explanation. You were more laying on the vice president. I think it's like you calling on him to do the reconciliation process within the county. But one may say reconciliation is two ways. What is your thought to the other people from the other eye, that are listening to you right now? Maybe one way or the other, the vice president has extended his arm of reconciliation, but they have refused to do so.
Now I agree with you, and I always like to be balanced. Genius. I always like to be balanced because I don't want you to come back and say, "But Emmerich was on our platform, he misled us." All right. So the reason why I'm saying it, because all of the stakeholders, I speak to them. I do speak to them directly. But I either Gongla, I speak with her. I speak with Honorable Koga. Koga is like a brother to me, And when sometimes I even try to make fun of him, I say he used to hold my boots in Zonwe when he was in Zonwe when we had our refugee time. It's just the truth because I play
what
soccer.
school is that? Is that UFA? Not UFA. What is schooling? It's always schooling.
I forgot it. But
the address school, I forgot the name too.
right, I was in Danane, but I always play for Zonwe because of the likes of in my family or in Zonwe too. So they always wanted me. So when I always tease Koga, I say, Koga, you used to hold my boots. It's a joke. He's a big brother, right? But I came from the background playing sports, soccer, well-known soccer player. So I understand, team, what they call a team. And I think that when you want to build a team for success, you have to be tolerant. And one thing I see from the VP's office, intolerance, where when people speak their mind, you see dissenting views will always happen in life, even in your own home. And Gina, if you have children, they will not agree with you. I think Avin will attest to that. Your children they don't even agree with you.
Even the gym master can agree with me. They may be debating with me on the show.
Exactly, but that's nice to have it that you guys can be tolerant of each other, but still coexist, right? And this is the problem I see in Liberia. We think we have to buy other people once they see that person is not speaking against per se, but when that person has a different view, I got to contact the person to be in my corner. It hurts you more than it builds you up, because when people speak, when they are objective and speak about you, I think you should have some level of consideration and see, but Junior, what am I doing wrong? I see your comments. Your comment was against what I'm doing. And then you know what? I want to have that relationship with you. And Junior, that's how I am. Let me tell you the truth. On any platform, when I see that you have a dissenting view on what I'm talking about, I will pick up the phone and call you. And everybody knows me for it. Because when you are heard, it will correct me. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But we'll have a discussion where we will know who's wrong. Then I will say, Gina, damn, man, you're right. Oh. Man, I won't lie to you, but thank you for bringing it up. This is where we are not at our politics. So immature. What we see when somebody expresses something contrary to what you say, you look at that person as being an antagonist, like an enemy. No, it shouldn't. Because I expect everybody to think differently. If everybody in the room, everybody thinks the same, you can never ever correct wrongs. If everybody wants to follow the person who will be able to give them the cell phone, maybe minutes on the cell phone, or pay bills or do those things, you will never ever correct your errors. Never ever. So what Avi is saying is simple. We come from a place. After we have dealt with the Prince Johnson's issue was sentimental in respect to what Nima was faced with. That was a different era. Where even if he could come from a different place, because Nima was hung on to the whole dope thing, targeting Nima, right? So when Prince Johnson, whether he was from MDR or from any other group, that Nima got liberated through that was the service to him. But now we have a new down. We have a change where Prince Johnson is no more. Do we want to continue with honoring just one person, to sacrifice one person for the goodness of Nima? This is the question we have to always ask ourselves. Do we want to say that we have to continue the legacy of Prince Johnson by just honoring one person? I would never do that with Honorable Koga, and he knows it, because I did not even support him in the by-election. And he's fine with it. He's okay with it. That's why I will tell you the truth. I respect him because we still speak on the phone. When I call him, he calls me, we talk. His level of tolerance, I think, let's give him that honor. He's come to a place where he understands that you have to be tolerant. Even though I know Emmerich, I've been knowing Emmerich for more than 25 years. Even if he did not support me, I will still pick up his call, or I will still call him. This is where we want to be. This is the name that we want to see. Don't overlook Honorable Koga. Don't overlook it. I keep telling people, you know what? He's learned from the past. He's learned a lot. I see a lot of transitions. I see a lot of changes. And that's why now I'm really gravitating and saying, you know what? From the get-go, I supported Manaide Gongla, and I will still support her because I feel that she's competent enough to represent Nima. One of the problems we always have on a national level, to see Nima now fully represented on a national level. So you see, Babati, I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but you see counties that should not be in the leadership in that shape and form. They are outsmarting Nima. And we have to be honest to say, the national level Nima there, but we have the resources, we have the development, we have the intellectual capacity, but yet and still we'll find people from counties that should not be in leadership in respect to, the numbers we have, right? Because we talk about politics is about numbers, right? But we cannot garner that support. So I say the Honorable Koga is doing the right thing. And any question I will be able to answer to you.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I was meaning to.
Jim, sorry, I'm sorry. I want to just add to your question there. So then there is this school of thought, the other school of thought in Nima that will say Nima is a traditional county, as you know. And again, I'm not saying that that's what we've been hearing here over and over. Historically, Nima has always had one person, an arrowhead, that leads the county. That's what they say. From Jackson Hebdo, first they had Johnny Vocat, and they had the likes of Jackson Hebdo, and then PYJ, and then now folks say the vice president is the new arrowhead. Then there's another school of thought that said no, right? We are not that way. We should be able to diversify our political arsenal and try to go other places and come back. Nima is not the same Nima before. Then the previous school of thought said no, Nima has been a traditional county for decades and decades. We've always had one person. What's your take on that before Junior coming? I know you try to touch it a little bit there.
No, I would disagree with that comment because we had people in Nima that were actually were stakeholders and actually holding key positions in NDPL. So let us be straight about that. Nima, we all think we have always thought independently at that time. All right. We had so many actors in Nima, major stakeholders from Nima that supported NDPL, supported UP, supported UPP, different political parties. So I would not agree with that Nima used to be a place. Nima changed to that when the sentiment came about Nima being targeted and then Doe got killed. So people saw Prince Johnson as the face because when you look at when Doe got killed, Prince Johnson did not occupy Nima, it was NPFL, right? But we gave more relevance to Prince Johnson even after Taylor left. We gave it because of that sentiment, that emotion that was connected to us. Okay. So if you look at Nima, we have to be realistic. Nima was more diverse. And let's look at Nima today. Let us look at the history of Nima. Nima been one tolerant county than any other county because people moved from Maryland that lived in Nima. And that I know most of the teachers, most of our teachers in Nima came from the Southeast. The Southeast. Most of our teachers in the whole county came from the Southeast. So it shows the level of tolerance. People who live in Nima easily. I know a lot of Ghanaians that moved in Nima, in Kample, Owusi. Those people that live in Kample, they taught at Kanhai. I know them. So when I saw the level of tolerance for Nima, even in the 70s and 80s, that I know, I will tell you, I said, wow, Nima was more tolerant to other tribes, other nationals from different counties. Different countries and counties. So the point that we think that what happened, that's politics. The political aspect, I don't speak much of the political aspect because I'm now a politician. But Prince Johnson used that well to his advantage. But does it mean that Nima will have to continue like that? No, it's a new era where we have to diversify. Because once everybody supports one agenda, and that agenda does not work, our county will be targeted. And that's the truth. If you support one agenda, then everybody like, oh, UP, the rescue mission. If the rescue mission becomes a failure and new government takes over, right, we'll be targeted. And there's no joke about it. We're going to be targeted. They're going to say, oh, they supported it, so we'll not give them the opportunity to be able to work or have prestigious positions in the new government because they were heavily vested in the government that, brought hardship to the people. So I keep saying it's good when you're in a room where everybody, you think the same. I don't want to be in that room. I don't want to be in that room where everybody going to follow just one person's view on the issue of Liberia or any issue in life. Because when you are an independent thinker, objective thinker, people think that you should come with your own based on the prevailing circumstances. But when I see that everybody thinking the same, it's scary for everybody to think the same. And there where I talk about tribalism to de-tribalize and de-regionalize our politics, because we see most attacks now on Facebook against the government from people from Nima, some people from Nima, some people from Lofa. But we accuse Grand Jide of doing the same thing. We accuse other people of doing the same thing. Then we see that then where do we go?
Thank you so much. As you talk, I'm doing research here and I'm learning a lot from here. But yeah, Junior, I know I interrupted you there, but I wanted to inject. So, guys, thanks for following. It's an interesting conversation. I said it from the beginning that this was going to go down, down the route of really wonderful, informative. I mean, conversation. Disagree or not, that's why democracy is, and that's why we need to have these conversations. It's good for Nimba County. It's good for Liberia. It's good for the young people, and history also being taught here tonight. So, but over to you. Your question you were trying to ask that.
Thank you, CEO. It's great to have Emmerich here. I know we're having a lot of great conversation here this evening. Emmerich, you set an example of Lofa and Nima County when it comes to unity at the national level. Many a times during election, Lofa is one of the most divided county in Liberia during election period because they produce vice president, they produce president during election periods. But right after election, you see the unity among them, and you see it at the national level where they are appointed and stuff. But in Nima County, it is on the contrary. During election period, we are more united behind one candidate. We vote for that one candidate. We can set an example on Mana Ellie Johnson Salif during the 2011 election. We can go to the 2017 election of President George Weah. We go to the 2023 election of President Joseph Human Boakai. But after the election, we tend to be more divided. We do not get our part of the fish we caught. We can't get anything from out of it. The basket we put in the water, after we've caught the fish, we get nothing from out of it. What do you think is the root cause of this problem, and how can we pass that stage?
Great question, Genius. That's a great question. I think this is the crux of my whole appearance on this show. I have been one of those. Seriously, if you been following me, if you did not follow me now, because I'm a pain in the neck when it comes to Nima. I'm a pain in the neck. People don't like my position, right? Lofa, how many people? Let's be honest. You see in Lofa, you see Lofa right now. Lofa is split, whether we like it or not. But Nima will not be split. Nima will put their whole, we call it, this is Buka. You put your whole brain into one person, right? Lofa, they don't do that. That's the difference, right? Whether you like it or not, I think it's a form of education too. Let's be honest that we have brilliant minds from Lofa. Even though we have brilliant minds from Nima, but the politics in Lofa is a little bit different from Nima. In Nima, we have what we call the Kingsmaker. One person will speak for everybody. I don't believe in that. In Lofa, no, not one person. In fact, President Boakai could not even win overwhelmingly in Lofa. But in Nima, once he brought VP on, everybody with the flow, we're going to support. We're going to do that. You see, loyalty can be good and loyalty can be bad. When one person going to think for everybody, it's a bad thing. Because I think Junior, Alvin, yo, bear me witness, we not of that personality or character to say people going to think for us. And this is the reason why we differ. But I think, and I will say this to VP Jeremiah Cohn, the terrain, the thing that you want everybody to think the way you think, it's just not a good thing. You know why? It's going to help you. It's going to strengthen you when we all become competitive in our thought processes and we challenge each other. That's how we get good. When we challenge each other, we get good. We not be antagonist of anything, but people free to think the way they think. But it's up to you to be able to challenge that person's thought process. And this is the problem we have in Nima. And I will say it, whether we like it or not, 2029, very important. If the vice president is watching, because we know there were promises made to Nima and say, oh, we'll just be there, because this is what the late Honorable Prince Johnson did, came to Nima and to beg for the votes of the citizens of Nima to say, we 6 months, and so the president of Waka will not be able to do the job. We'll turn it over. We'll consummate, or we'll turn it over to the VP. So Nimba voted based on what was told to them. Okay, but now we see that 2029 is not even close. But we're seeing that the President Boyka is talking about running. So to me, it's
let me check it out. Was it done publicly? Is that a public statement that was made? As far as
but that's one of the things that was hard for us to counter, Alvin. I mean, it was hard for us because we say,
what I'm trying to say is for the sake of clarity, we want to make sure that we are stating.
I can send it to you.
Okay,
I can send the facts to you that Neymar voted overwhelmingly because Neymar, they've never tasted the presidency. Let's be honest. All of the struggles Neymar went through, never tasted the presidency. So Neymar felt this is the perfect opportunity to support a candidate who's aging, who cannot do the job, for a younger candidate in VP Cole. And VP Cole knows it. Right now, he will not tell you because it's politics.
Yeah, but knowing it, internally is different than saying it. As recently as I think a few weeks ago, the VP was in what district was it? District 9 with Honorable Cooper and other people. He stated and reaffirmed that take this to the bank. It's a check. The president is going to be on the ballot box in 2029. So he has made that clear over.
It's true, but this is why, if you don't play your card right, mm-hmm. And I would say in a very, very common way, and then you excuse my French, when somebody grab you by the bag, when you're a man, when you find somebody to grab you by the bag, right? And I would say you have no choice but to surrender, because if you sell yourself in that way, not being strategic to position yourself for contingency plan B, right? That's what happens. So he has no choice, because he thinks that when they talk about the presidency, he feels that it has to come through UP because he made a mistake with the way he went in. He went in with not full proof of somebody trying to support him after the first term, not somebody trying to support him after 6 months or 12 months or so. So it's a hard thing, and I understand where he's coming from. And I like to be objective. I agree with him. He's being very careful to say those things, because if he does not say those things, the base that should support him, he would not have the base behind him. He can be emphatic about it to come negatively in a way to sow the seed of discord in that bearish right now. So that's the reason why you see he will say everything to solidify that relationship. But you can see it's a relationship of deception, whether people like it or not, because all people knew PYJ. Honorable PYJ sold that thing like 6 months. Nehemiah for 6 months. He will not even live 6 months, right? He will not even be there 6 months. And so people, the minds of people, our county, they already knew that 6 months, 1 year, President Boyka will not be there, right? But if you find a man who used you people because he was a lot smarter, and I tell her he was ill, I tell her he was going to die, that's deception. That's a whole different level of being unethical, to pretend like those things will go on with you only because you wanted the support of people. Once they support you, then you healthy. You all around there. You're talking about 2029 when we still got a long way to go.
I remember I said that, you try me, you put me the idea.
But that's why in politics not for little boys. And I'm not trying to demean, I'm not trying to disparage anyone, demean anyone, but you have to think beyond, you have to have depth, you have to have the bandwidth to think, to be critical. And this is where people like you and myself, other all who have come in to say, Nima, you guys being played, because they think that this power ambitious, right? Power ambitious. So they think that they can use it in that sense to say, we'll turn it over to you. And so they will see it's a total disaster right now.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, like I said, I'm learning from history there. You know, the debate about one area, one basket. The Mayans have always had one area. I was doing some research when you were talking. I realized that there was a lot of senior government official in Doe government when Jackson Hebdo ran against Doe. Top
Oh no,
official.
I know it. No, no,
Yeah, I
Abby.
didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know
No,
that.
no,
So
no. I mean, the facts are there, though.
yeah,
Let's be
yeah.
honest. The facts are there, though.
And
The
I'm not
facts
talking
are there.
about. I'm not saying small job. Or for example, like Joseph Seguano, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. That's during the time the puppet ran against him. So those are all top Nimba top brats that could say we are doing this, we are doing that, right? But anyway, we this is great stuff, great conversation. Your man D is behind me. Let me see if I can bring him on. Junior, you
Bring,
got it? Yeah, man.
bring my brother on, please.
So great conversation. I want D to come and kind of give his take on the Nima thing. From there, we'll go to ANC, talk about ANC state of affair where they are now, and then we move from there. But Junior, you got any question before we try to switch topic here?
I still have a lot of questions from Nema County.
Okay, shoot.
Now, taking you back to your own words, would you say that the reason why Nima have not had a share of the national cake is because those we have representing us are not marketing Nima very well?
No, I think Junior, the point of marketing Nima is different from the point of having competence. I think right now on a national level, Nima is not feared because we have not presented brilliant candidates to the on a national level. Let's be honest about it, right?
Mhm.
And if you look at all of our representatives, and I will go back to the late, Sami Woya. Sami Woya, a brilliant man who was brilliant. Brilliant is relative, right? But when it came to the national issue, and so he would go and shrink, at the House of Representatives, and so. But the point there, we have not presented the brilliant people of our county, and that's the reason why we are not challenged on a national level. Let's be honest about it. Those that are representing us, I'm not trying to demean anybody. I'm not trying to denigrate anybody, but it's a fact. But you see, the national level, once you present, that's the reason why county, the Grand Crew, those places, and so they have edge when it comes to even the leadership in the House of Representatives, the House of Senate. They have edge over us. So my point there, if we send people with the IQ, with the intellect, with the practicality, with the experience, when we start to pick those people, Nima will be feared on a national level. And no doubt, I'm telling you, we have the brilliance to be able to keep up with people from Grand Crew, from Sano, from those different places. And so, just the truth, honest truth. People from Grand Crew, Sano, and so they may not like it because I'm from Sano, the background of Sano, because my father's people from that area too. But I say the truth to them. I say, Nima, I know both words, right? They name Nima got brilliant people. Well, we have not found a way to use our brilliant people. And good thing, my boy, my friend and my brother, D is on. I wanted him to be on.
But before I go to D, let me ask this last question to you. From your honest perspective, do you think Nima is ready? Or do you think in the next couple of years to come, like 2029, Nima will produce president in Liberia?
No, Nima is ready when you cannot put all your eggs in one basket to think that there's more. The era of Prince Johnson was completely different, was based on emotions, and so what Nima was faced with at the time, that Nima look at president, whether we like it or not, former president though as the target at the time. Prince Johnson, NPF occupied Nima for most of the time during the Civil War, right? But Prince Johnson did not occupy that area, but people hailed Prince Johnson because the death of Doe, Prince Johnson attributed to the death of Doe. And that's the reason why he was rewarded. Because if you see the monkey on Nema's back at the time was, I like to be honest, right? Someone, when I get up there for my crown brothers will call me, I really don't care. Right. Yeah, I like to be honest. So the monkey on Nema's back at the time was Doe. Okay. And Prince Johnson, because just the fact that Prince Johnson was the one that caused the death of Doe, So if you see it, there's a trend there. So Neymar, they pledge allegiance, they pay that respect to Prince Johnson just based on that because the atrocity with DK1 said they dying, all of those things were because of Doe. So if you found somebody who came and liberated Neymar in a way to get rid of Doe, Prince Johnson was the person. So that's why Prince Johnson, you see, he was hailed. It's not because his name was just Prince Johnson, but if Emery had killed Doe at the time, trust me, I would have been in the same position. But what happened? He used it for his benefit. And we have to move past that because he's gone, right? We have to make Neymar to be a place where people can think differently, but we still coexist. People can have brilliant minds and people we can tolerate any other person with that the dissenting views. But we don't want Neymar to go back to that place because I will tell you the truth. Even after the death of Doe, when Prince Johnson was there, our people still went through suffering. Let's be honest. Our people they are still going through it. So we need somebody who's going to decentralize the ideas of the county and don't make it like everybody going to vote the same way we voted 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We don't want to do that. We want people to think differently because it helps when people compete in ideologies, right? It helps a lot when people got different views. It helps a lot. That's how you ought to pick up your errors. That's how you can fix things when people think differently. So I will, that's my answer to your question. That Neymar, now we have to move past the days of Prince Johnson, to Neymar that we want to see what we're going to be based on ideas, like the scene where we see lo-fi and so all the different places based on ideas. Even though we have President Boycott running, but not everybody from a lo-fi supporter here. Okay, this is the Neymar we want to see. So thank you.
Thank you so much. DK, if you're available, you can ask your question. Welcome to the show, big brother.
Thank you. I just want to register my complaint against Emma first. How is our footballer in the first place?
He's okay, my brother. He's okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
so
you,
our son will soon be our own Messi. So that's the guy we're waiting for. Emma said I live in the bush and he live in the heart of DC. So that's why he just saying to me all the time. But anyway, welcome, big brother. You myself go a long way.
Thank you.
I joined late. I was a little bit busy on the class. So I don't know where are we now, but overall, how is ANC?
Okay, man, ANC there. Yeah, no. Let me answer it. No, the ANC is there. People like you, people like Alvin, people like Junior, because ANC brings something completely different to what we have seen that have failed. So ANC there for every one of us, bro. I don't own ANC, and you're my favorite, right? So we can go back and forth. So I don't care. I wanted you to be on the show. I beg, Alvin. I said if D is not on the show, I said if D is not on the show. I didn't want to come on the show if D is not here, though. No, seriously.
Thank you. I saw you really involved with the BKS organization. The politician that we had to leave it. So I saw you really involved with the BKS organizations and from the formation to the leadership. I just want to appreciate it. So, what's your position now in the current leadership?
Yeah, we trying to revamp. This is what's happening, right? Sometimes in America, our lifestyle, we get so focused on trying to take care of business first, right? Mm-hmm. So we've come to a place that we think that Belegay will have to have young people, young leadership, new ideas, and that's a good thing for leadership. So Belegay, they already instituted a new leadership, very young and vibrant leadership that will start. It's transitional, right? From there, we're going to move on to having a permanent leadership. So they're doing great because we've been so quiet for so long. A place like Belegay should be loud enough to be able to move the agenda of Nima. So it starts from Belegay, all of those different places, everywhere. So Belegay is doing good. I think we have a very good person, Alice. Alice is so happy that Alice is a family member of mine. a cousin of mine, and I'm happy to have someone like that who's energetic to be. I will be always involved. What you D, if you call me and say your area, your district doing this, and I will be involved because this is the reason why we are blessed to see how we can extend the help to our people. We're not here to only do the talking, but we're here to be able to impact, improve, and have something change in our community that our people will feel it.
Thank you. I mean, you can take over. Maybe we'll go to politics. I mean, rest so I can follow the show now.
Okay, brother.
No, you came a little late. So our next topic was basically, ANC. We had Councilor Murayo on here the last time, and I asked her this question, and I'll ask you the same question. I think with the exception of you and my boy too, very few. I saw you in Complet during the elections, and I saw you doing your thing there because you're from there, obviously. So you had to do things. But aside from that, I felt that ANC never put a lot of effort, a lot of work in Nimba. When I said Nimba, I'm not talking about Ganta Sani Kode Complet. I'm talking about Mutu. I'm talking about in the hinterland. I'm talking about people that are in Zig, all of the small towns that got numbers. I felt like ANC really never did a good job at selling Mr. Cummins to the people inside there. They were all just in Ganta for the most part, Sani Kule, like Campley and other people that. Well, what's the? I know you don't have to give you guys your strategy on here now, but I bet you guys have some plans when it comes to changing things. And how do you guys look at it going forward when it comes to NIMBA? Now, remember now, people may disagree with whatever we say here or not, but NIMBA is no longer PYJ NIMBA. We got new NIMBA. It's going to be going through this test, 2029. PYJ is not there. What's your take on how ANC is going to approach this going forward?
Yeah, good question. Nima is a place that dearly when you are very close to your people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They never forget. And
No.
going back to Nima, when I've always been back home, but I've never had a chance to go back to Complay. And so, but it wasn't even any different when I got in Complay. Once I got on the radio station, and because my mom is Lemon, once the year Lemon on the radio station, I will tell you the truth.
Right.
Everybody was flocking from the villages, from the different farms and folks because they knew me. They know me very well, right? And that's the beauty. And the good thing, I told independent people from Morovia that went with me. They said, "But Emmerich, if you have this support, why can't you just run? Because we see everybody likes you over here." But my issue is not about running though, because naturally I'm now a politician. The reason why I got into politics, I will give you just a brief history and go back to I got into politics because businesses that I took back home, knowing where I'm from with the business environment, I just felt that the environment wasn't conducive for business. Even though I had tried at that time, but I just like I'm going to support a candidate who will push the private sector into prosperity, right? And that's why I got into politics to say, let me support. I was never into politics in terms of trying to seek political position or so. So looking at all of the players into our politics then, I had an interview with everybody. I met with everyone because I wanted to make the right choice. And I felt that to move Liberia forward is to have a vibrant private sector. And to have a vibrant private sector is to support someone who came from that background, to push goodness in the private sector, who knew how to organize the private sector for it to thrive. So that was my whole support for Mr. Cummins. I've never ever known him. I got introduced to him by other people. Hey, I got no family relationship to him. And this is the disclaimer I always put because people think that I'm a diehard supporter and they think that I don't. But sometimes too, we do disagree, and people have seen my disagreement. My disagreement, for instance, I will lay one example with the issue of Abba Topa. And so when they wrote when he and Dr. Emmanuel Clark co-edited
It's a
biography of the former president Weah, right?
right.
Because I felt that it's a freedom of speech, it's unauthorized biography, like you or Alvin or even LD. I can be with you guys for so long. I can write books about you, my experience, right? My experience with hanging out with you people, right?
Right.
And I can come with my book. I think we should encourage those things, right? Because it's my experience of you. But it's up to you to be able to look at the book and read it and disclaim some of those things that are put in it from your vantage point.
Right.
So when he relieved uh uh Ava from his job because of that, to me, it wasn't a good thing as a leader. And I stood up firm. I went against it, removed myself, and I spoke openly about it. So I'm not this person who will come and say I support a candidate because I support you. So everything you say, I will just go by the flow. And they all know me. But I will tell you this, right? For Liberia, to move Liberia forward, we have to we have to come to terms that nothing has worked. When people say, oh, the government doing this, the government doing that, those are not things that you talk about. Those are things that people feel. And we've been for so long, almost 200 years, right? But we've gone nowhere. So the fundamental issue right now is in the governance of our country, in the leadership of our country. That's the problem. The question that we need to be asking ourselves, why we have been electing leaders for so long, but nothing has changed. For so long, nothing has changed. That's the question we should be asking, because when it comes to change, you don't need to talk about it. I don't need to talk about it. In fact, most of our family members and so sometimes they'll be able to say, oh, I remember I got someone that $500 to send to you over there in America. You know why? Because that's what change looks like. Change looks like when our people have opportunities to have jobs where they can work, to have some pity on their family members that don't go to sleep and work throughout to pay bills, and say, let's help them over there, right? Because other countries are doing it. But when it comes to change, this is one thing we see. The change we talk about is to support based on interest, based on, because if I support that person, they say politics interest is interest. For me, it's not based on interest, because the national interest, the interest of everybody that will make the economy good, that will create less burden on me, that's the interest I'm talking about. Okay, I was just bereaved, and my cousin passed away. May his soul rest in peace. And I would say, or to Honorable Prince Moy and Koga, thanks for attending the funeral. Your contribution, I gave it to you. My gratitude to you. But this is the point I'm making, right? If I have family members that are going to depend on me all day and night, it's a different burden. But then if we have an economy where they say, Emery, we can send you $200 for you to pay. I'm not saying I will depend on them, but they say, oh, because what you've been doing for us, things are okay now. We'll send you money to help yourself. And so to me, I will look at that as progress in Liberia. And this is where we all come from with different backgrounds, and say progress is not what you say, it's how people feel and how people live. That's progress. Progress is when people are living the life they should want to live, that they have choices, they have opportunities to have choices, that progress. Progress is not based on because somebody wants to preach propaganda and come on and say, oh, the government doing well and showing one light, and then 2 weeks other people don't receive light. Electricity. So we're gonna keep talking, and I'm happy to be on this platform, and with you guys doing a great job. I must commend you, and I will join in to see how we can improve this, because
we're looking for one ANC person to join us. So especially you got Nip Tat and Nima, it makes it even better for us. But yeah, I think I said it before, and I would say I think there was a lot of missed opportunities from ANC part as far as tap into to Nimba. I know they have PYG that still was a little tough, but yeah, and still there was more room. But now it's different. So we'll be looking forward to seeing what the dynamic. I want to see, I want to see what the research will show, how everything's going to end up and will turn out to be 2029, 2030. I would love to sit and see and watch and view numbers and dissect it and see everything. But great answer there. I think changes our people there. No, Eric, I don't know if most people know that, but our people are well informed now, right? The Nima that you grew up in way back where we never had cell phone, nothing, where is different now. As generation move, as technologies continue to grow, expand, people are making decisions now based on different factors. So we look forward to seeing how the dynamic shift going forward. But I'll stop here and have Junior ask his question. If you do, we are asking ANC. The topic is ANC. What's the state of affairs for ANC when it comes to Liberia, Nimba, or anywhere in general? They got an ANC USA branch too.
ANC has been into the border politics of Liberia for the past 2 terms now. The first term, one may say they did pretty well, but the second term, one may say they didn't do well. What
You
do
want to be
you
a minute?
think?
You want to be the minute percentage? Don't be scared.
No, no,
Say
I'm not,
it.
I'm not going to use your percentage. What do you think and why Liberians are not gravitating towards Alexander Cummings in the ANC? Why?
And good question, Junior. I don't think it's about. I will always say ABC, right? And it's gonna be coming, so I will shortcut it to say ABC. I don't think it's the issue is with him. I don't think it's the issue. When it comes to resistance to change, it's not easy. Let's be honest. Councillor Gongo, let's be realistic. I like to be practical. That's how I am, right? Because I want to reach the consciousness of our people, the mindset of our people. Let's remove ABC. Let's look at Councillor Gonglo, for instance, who spent his whole life in the country, who's so practical. In fact, they call him poor man lawyer, right? So if we're talking about him, for instance, to throw light on why our people are resistant to change, then we can use him as an example. He's been there for ever so long. The dungeons, the gutter, the holes in those places with our people that could not even afford, lawyers in the country, he's been standing up for them. But then the question is why? Because his ethics, his morals, those are things that our country will come to terms with. We have not seen when it comes to ethical issue, integrity and those things have been defined in a different way. Okay, in a different way. We have normalized that talking for a politician, whether that politician has what it takes, whether that politician has integrity, and so it's a gateway to our leadership. We have seen it over and over. So the issue is not just it's the society, it's where we are. We are at a place where over the period of time during the civil crisis, the decadence of the society, we have lost it, right? We have lost a period, more than 2 decades of us not being rational enough. Am I saying Liberians are not rational enough? No, but that's the honest truth. When you have war, where you have institutions that are civic institutions that should be vibrant to be able to educate people, they will all go on down the drain. You don't expect much of the people that were born into that era with us seeing the example of our country, right? Where our country was. So that's the ripple effect of having civil war. But I think now it's time that any government should put more into the education of our people to see how we can educate, because whether you like it or not, there's no development, no progress if you don't educate your people. But you think that if you don't educate your people because you want to take advantage of them, it helps you. It doesn't help you in any way, because the flush toilet you're going to build over there, sooner or later you see somebody going to use it and don't even do what they need to do to keep it clean, right? All of those things are going to have impact on the society if you don't educate your people. So there where I come from, I say education as a whole is on the government, right? We have not done well as a government in educating our people. So when it comes to development, when it comes to education, when it comes to policy that are going to, because it's constitutional, if you look at the Constitution, education, to educate your population is constitutional. It's the constitutional right. But we don't hold them accountable because we think that our people are poor. And this is where they get our people. They don't create opportunities where our people will make money on their own to be able to have a mind of their own. So, Junior, I will say this, it's by design that we want to keep our people poor because we have a lot of resources. We have those things that are going to create a better economy, better country for our people. But it works in the interest of few people to keep our people poor because once you keep them poor and you give them handouts, it helps the government or it helps people, officials to keep in power. And to me, it's not a better design to move a country forward. So we have to do away with that. And with Cummings, and I keep saying, with him, his mindset is different. He does not want to be the one-armed man in a town. That's not his model. Because in America, I will tell you the truth, we don't live like that. And my boy D, Alvin, we all can bear witness. That's not how America is. Like you want to be the one-armed man in your community, in the town. And so I want to come to Liberia where Gina will say, Emery, no, keep your money. My man, okay, I will buy for you. You understand? That's the mindset where you are empowered, where you can be able to stand up as a man because he can provide for you and your family. This is the country that we all want to see.
Could you say if Alexander B. Cummings agreed to dance with the devil? I'm quoting now from the current president when he was running in 2023, according to him. He would dance with the devil to get what he wants. At that time, practically, I don't know who he was talking about. But when you say if Alexander Cummings danced with the devil, he would become the president of Liberia?
No, but you see, dancing with the devil, and I keep saying this, right? People think they can coin those things based on their benefits. If you talk about dancing with the devil, the people now that in power, they talk about Prince Johnson, the late Honorable Prince Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
They call him all those different names because he was with CDC. Even the same VP Jeremiah Cohen was CDC. He was all the different bad names you can think about in the country. So we cannot be able to dilute the issue, right? Politics is about strategy. The most important thing, even in coalition with a person, would that change your value? That's the fundamental question. If I'm hanging out, I've had bad friends in life. I've had friends that smoke. I never smoke. I've had friends that do all the bad things. I did some. I didn't do some. It was a choice by an individual, right? An individual. So, Junior, the question there, is it because you cannot be guilty by affiliation in life? Nowhere in our constitution, our law going to say, because Alvin committed, for instance, just an example to be hypothetical, murder. So if I'm not tied to it, it's because Alvin committed murder, so I'm a murderer. It never happened. This is the reason why we have all these different distractions, right? We have these different distractions because people think they want to control the narrative. They think they want to put propaganda. But my point is, if I ask you the same question when Mr. Cummings, when ABC was in the CPP, you know his biggest problem, because he did not want to operate the way that we call the Liberian way, right? He did not. And that's why he got alienated in the CPP, and he fell prey to the CPP because he's different. He's different. We've seen it. It's proven. There's a track record that he's different. So even if ABC going to say they're going to create an alliance with CDC, right? That will not take your value, because those values are values that part of your DNA, that part of your upbringing. Those are things that you can change. I don't care if I meet you tomorrow or Junior, if I see certain attributes in you that don't conform with my attribute, I don't care what you do. I will not fall in line with what you do. He's an adult who controls his mindset, his branding. One important thing is when we live in this country, I will tell you, we have branding where when you work, you know for certain things, you want to keep that intact to protect your integrity. And this is why I differ from people who will say, but the good thing about it, we accuse a lot of officials from UP that went into collaboration with ANC and so. We did not have a problem, even though you were accused of some of the worst things you can think about in doing Ellen's time, before Ellen's time, and so. But now you see to indict a man who you cannot show specifically what he's done wrong to any Liberian. To say because coming or hanging out with Prince Johnson, he did this and he killed somebody. Or because you are hanging out with Boba Malu or with Akaros Gray, for instance, or even George Weah, he stole money. If we can point those things out, to me, we should not be talking about it because my association with anybody would not change who I am. And that's a fact. Because guilty by association, affiliation, in our constitution, they don't exist. They don't exist.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, it has been a fruitful and a wonderful conversation here this evening. I would love for you to
Come
mostly
back.
be appearing here so that we can be having such a conversation, more of a dialogue, more of understanding the core issue than just, yelling, one may say talking loosely, but then we understanding what is going on with our politics in Liberia. But I'm told that you're a very big fan of sports. Tomorrow, Argentina and Spain will be playing the World Cup final. So this will be my last question here. There have been a lot of conspiracy theory behind Lamine Yamal and Messi going against each other tomorrow. We've seen the charity photo and all of that. Who are you supporting tomorrow and why?
It's a bad thing, and I'll be very, very clear. It's a bad thing to stay on the fence, right? Because this is an event that everybody is looking forward to take a side. But since Ronaldo from Brazil left soccer, my son, he plays soccer. I supported him, but I lost interest in the game since Ronaldo, because Ronaldo to me was my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Right. But since he left the game, but this time around, the reason why I will pick a side, because people want you to have the guts. It's in leadership, right?
Yeah.
To see we call it dilemma, right? Where you have two bad situations in life, but you still have to make a choice as a leader. So as a leader, I will make a choice and tell you why I'm going to make this choice, right? I will support any day Spain over Argentina. And I'll give you so many reasons. If you look at the slave trade and so, if you look at Spain, Argentina, Spain, a little bit diverse. They've come a long way to being a little bit diverse, right?
Right.
Argentina, they don't have that diversity because of the history. They got rid of black people. They don't like black people. And that's the truth. If you go back to history, right? Well, soccer is a whole different thing that people say politics not into it, but we're all emotional as humans, right? We got our emotional side.
Yeah.
Right? So I will go with Spain, because Spain got the tolerance to absorb the black people into their culture, even if it may not be perfect, right? So we still got black people that even play on their team that they respect.
On their team too, yeah.
Argentina is not like that. And moreover, I think there were a lot of controversy around the calls, the referees, making calls with Messi. I'm not saying Messi. Yeah. Look, I was there before Messi. If you ask anybody, I used to be a left footer, by far better than Messi, but we did not have a culture. Yeah, by far better than Messi. Way better than no.
So we
Okay.
we were set up at 1v1 with you and Messi to see how it goes.
Right, but Junior, if you go back and you start asking people, they will tell you the truth. They'll say that I was way better than. But Junior, the problem why some of us stick to education because we did not have the program to accommodate our soccer prowess. Okay,
Yeah.
we did not have it. We did not have it, so we did not want to be lost like the generation that plays soccer and ended up nowhere. Right, so
Nowhere,
we
yeah.
came from this background of families that were so entrenched into education, and so. But I will say this, right? I will want Spain to win. The reason I want Spain to win is simple because they have come a long way to be able to accept us. For me, my black race, my geo background, all those things very important to me. Very important. If you don't know, and I would say, it's not like I'm being, but I will tell you, I come hard. I'm one of those that will come hard on our people to say, start voting and letting one person to decide how you vote. Start thinking independently. So thanks to you all for this show. I didn't even know we were going to be. You won't believe it. The length of time we spent here. I'm
Yeah.
looking for another 5, 6, 10 hours and so because it's so intriguing. It's so
Yeah.
nice being on this platform. Very great platform. And I will encourage you. I will give my support to this platform because of your tolerance, your questions, your questioning. And so they're so in depth. They bring out the best of a person. If you come on this show and you can speak and be in depth, then
Yeah.
there's you trust me, then you just don't have it. But thank you all, Jillian. Thank you to Alvin. Thank you to D, my brother.
Yeah.
Thanks to you all. You guys are great people, and I hope you continue. But I will give my support to this platform.
Thank you so much, brother. We look forward to having you on here as always. I knew this day was coming, and as when I started the show, I said, this was going to be one of our wonderful shows that we've hosted in a long time. But we look forward to having you when time comes and there is need, a trending topic, something urgent. I have your number on speed dial. I will reach out to you. I know the weekends work better for you, and we look forward to having you again. No, this is our platform, not just name our platform. We want to make it national. So with your support and everyone else's support, we will be able to get there. And we appreciate your time. You've been over for almost 2 hours. You came in early, and then there was a little issue there, but you've done extremely well to sit here and talk to the people of Nema County. It means a lot. So thank you so much. We look forward to having you here again.
Thank you all. So goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye to my
All
people
right.
in Belegay and the whole Anima.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. So that was a great show.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a great show. I've been holding on to Emery for a long time, waiting till we get everything sorted out before we get him on. And it was a wonderful show. We look forward to having him here again in the future. But thank you so much for coming on, wonderful show. Thanks to everyone for watching, and thanks to D too for coming in. It was a great show. We look forward to being back tomorrow. Tomorrow is the World Cup final, so we'll probably be watching the World Cup every once.
You were calling me this evening. I woke up and I saw the missed call after getting the green and you sleep at anyhow, which of
Uh,
course I know DK will be envious of me sometimes. I can be sleepy now. No
yeah.
school,
The thing is,
nothing.
when I answer,
So it was a great show. Tomorrow we're going to be here, and we send you an invitation to all sports lovers. We'll be here by 8:30 or probably 8 o'clock. Let's say 7 o'clock Liberia time to discuss sports ahead of the game. Have a sports talk here ahead of the game. 9 o'clock, maybe we call it a day to go and watch the football. And after the game, maybe we'll come back to have our take on it too as well. But it has been a wonderful conversation here this evening. DK, what's up? Give us your pattern, Chief. Moba Malu was taken into police custody today, and a lawyer freed him and all of those things. According to what I heard from his lawyer, Moba Malu is more of a witness in the case and not a suspect, or he has not been charged with any other crime. That's so big to think of, and I don't know why. But let's hear you, Chief.
Thank you. Emery is a big brother. We sometimes disagree, but we agree. Yeah, man, I said can talk a lot when my Facebook was on. So he's a very good guy. When he believe in something, he go in there with everything. So when Emery say he's for this, he will go in there with all his might. For that, I respect him. I respect him a lot. The only thing, sorry, I was getting gas. It's raining here. I was getting gas. I didn't ask him that question. The ANC of 2015, 2016, 2017, and up to 2023 is not the ANC I'm seeing now. In the past, ANC used to have a lot of fundraisers across the US. ANC Global, they were making headway. I'm not seeing that anymore. I don't know whether there's a rebranding. They are doing another strategies. I'm not seeing much from the ANC. I don't know whether their financial are getting tired. So those are things that Emre and the rest of the supporters of the ABC and the ANC need to look at carefully. I'm not seeing the ANC that I used to see before. No zeal. Their energy level has dropped drastically. Uh, in case of in terms of visibility, you are not seeing it. Like this is just my opinion. I might be wrong. I'm not seeing ANC emotions in action. They are not doing more than before. There's no new face coming. No recruitment. The same people are in a bubble now. So I don't know how they will really come out to do more to pull all the triggers. So I hope that they are working on that. This is my opinion. This is my observation. So that's it. And they have
Thank
a
you.
lot of firebrand young people with a lot of knowledge. Yeah, so they are very good. So the Moruba Molu team, look, Jim, like I said last day, that gunslinger with Moruba Molu, the police director should not be police director up to this morning. You have somebody with gun and he's sleeping with a gun. Yeah, that Emmanuel. So yeah, so that all I can say, but since they say he's in court, we hope to see what comes out of that.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being on here tonight. Thank you to Format Toure for watching us from Campley as always. And Dennis K. Gabriel is also following us this evening. Fumba say he's rooting for. Okay, he said England is beating France. So he's betting for the third place. He said England will be beating France. But Fuma, you can also tell us about the first place trophy tomorrow against Spain and Argentina. Tell us who you think is going to win. Ralph Wilson was also following us here this evening. My own said, oh man, the Batozi was also watching us. Peter J. Soya Jr., Morris Jar, Emmanuel P. Mambia was also following us too as well. And a lot of folks were following here this evening. It's been a wonderful conversation. I've been Junior Payne alongside DK Way and the CEO himself, Mr. Ivan Sekai Sunia. Together we brought to you the weekend edition of the Heat Hour Show here on BKS TV. Catch you guys tomorrow with another brand new edition of the show. Have a blessing. Good evening from my end.